left to go manager and above. So we're going to talk all about that to be on stage for PXP. So definitely use this opportunity, send out some reminders. Friday is payday or Fry Pay. Is that how you pronounce it, Danielle? Fry Pay?
No, I said Friday. Friday pay.
Friday,
Friday paycheck.
Friday
Happy
payday.
Friday payday.
There we go. We'll make that a thing. So good stuff. Louis, thanks so much, man, for manning down the Zoom per always. And awesome. I'll get this kicked off. I am up here in the Bay Area actually today. So happy Friday. Great to see you. What a week. Lots is happening. Trying to keep up with y'all. We're going to have some winners. I'm going to have Danielle announce it a bit today for Giddy Up for PXP promo. We also have a special training that I want to do to really help you to unlock how to go manager and help your team go manager as well too. Do some reports, do some things. And we're going to most importantly talk about you. And if you have some really cool things that happened this week, promotions, for example, if you or your team went ultimate, we want to hear from you. If you or your teammates went a promotion, we want to hear from you. If you and your teammates had a paycheck that you saw today, being Friday, and you're like, wow, this is really cool, we want to hear from you. So if you don't mind, go to the Zoom, go to the reaction button and hit the raise hand button and want to hear from you in just a little bit because that's what Fridays are all about. I'm going to walk out with strategy, with focus and everything. So it's going to be a fantastic one. So with that, I'm up here in the Bay Area. If you're wondering the different background, we were up here when I started my network marketing career. I was up here, and then it was 15 years. So just 2 years ago, we moved back down to San Diego. This house is my mother-in-law's, and actually, this room has a lot of memories because who here's ever been through some tough times financially in your life? Um, this was the office that we turned into a bedroom that we had to move back into after we had financial devastation and we lost our dream home and we lost our whole lifestyle and we were trying to save up every single penny. You guys remember those times? Maybe some of you are going through that now, where every single penny did count. We'd go to Costco, have $5 rotisserie chicken, and you do all the things to try to save money everywhere. But I remember being in a room like this, and one of the biggest things that we had was me and Becky got together and we were building our business, and we're like, we don't want it to stay this way. We need this to change. Who here is here because you need your financial life to drastically change, And what do you do in those types of situations when you feel like you lost everything and you want to defend your mind? You know you have a great business and you want to move forward, but you have this debt stress and you have this financial turmoil and you're just like, oh my gosh. And that's probably one of the both hardest times in an entrepreneur's career, but also one of my mentors called it this, it's survival blood. Like it's actually one of the most thrilling times. And you might be like, James, really, is it thrilling? I don't like looking at my credit card statements. I don't like looking at my bills. Bills are like a bad word. But it is one of the most important times. And it actually is one of the most breakthrough moments if you allow it to be that way. If you allow it to inspire you rather than tear you down, you know? And this is what we did. We sat down and me and Becky, and I'd encourage you to do this with yourself, with a spouse, with a friend, with a family member, anybody, right? With a teammate. And we committed to putting together a vision board. And we said, what do we want our life to look like? We don't want it to be here, but we're grateful, right? We had a roof over our heads. These are first world problems. But I remember we were thinking like, we need a different type of home. We want our own space. We want to be able to not have this type of stress anymore. And we started putting together a vision board. And then we decided, number two, what the financial vehicle was, right? And for us, we knew that a job could not provide for the type of lifestyle that we wanted. Right? Who here knows that no matter how good a job is for what you want in your financial life, it's probably not enough in terms of both money, but also time. right? You can make a lot of money in a job. Both me and Becky, right? We went to UC Berkeley. We have connections everywhere. We could both easily get multiple six-figure jobs. But is that really what we wanted? Right? I didn't want to slave away. I wanted it when we had a child eventually that we could actually spend time with that child. And we were thinking these things. We said, we need this business to work. Maybe some of you are in that place right now. You need this business to work. There's no better financial vehicle than what we have here in Partner Co. So we took a look at this and we said, all right, this is where we're at. Let's be grateful. I think that's important for all of us. Be grateful. It could be way worse, can it? Right. And then we started to build and we started to just obsess about the vision board. We had it on our walls, we had it on our phones, and we're just like, let's go do what we got to do. And this office room bedroom was just a temporary station in life. And a couple years later, we're then able to build up our business and build up our income where we're able to afford our dream home on our vision board. I was just down there and we're hanging out with actually Rick and Janine had come over because they're out here from Australia. And we were sharing with them the story of the home. And we wanted high ceilings and recessed lighting, wanted to be close to home to San Diego, wanted to be modern. We wanted a backyard that was low maintenance because we're not green thumbs, we're not gardeners, you know. We wanted to have 4 bedrooms at least. We wanted to have an office, like we wanted everything. And lo and behold, the perfect home opened up and finances figured itself together. And now so grateful that we have a business like this, and praise God that we're able to easily afford the mortgage and way more. Everything that was once lost got restored and more. And that's a word for someone here today. Some of you have lost things in your life. And we're kind of thinking, man, how do I get back what it is that I had before? Here's one thing I've learned. The worst goal you can set is to get back somewhere, right? You don't want to reclaim what you had in the past. I'd encourage you to double your vision. I'd encourage you to have way more. Okay. I'd encourage you to go for the next goal. And the home that we have now, for example, is actually 3 times more of a mortgage than what we were paying for our last dream home. Kind of funny, I'm up here in the Bay Area. We drove past our previous dream home that we lost, and we thought it was amazing, right? But we look back there now, we're like, that was like nothing, right? That was like, we don't even want to be there anymore. So some of us need to dream to another level right now because we have a business that can afford financially anything that you want. Like, it's powerful, but we have to know how to crank it. So if this impacts anybody, put a me in the comments below. We're in a fun phase of our life and our career, and our conviction and our obsession is every single day we're thinking, how do we help you increase your bottom line? How do we help you achieve your financial dreams and your aspirations? I want to give you everything straight up. There's nothing to hide in this. We're just giving you exactly what's possible. And we're obsessed. We're in a 90-day run right now to help take everyone's best check and more than double it, right? So we got a lot of work to do. So anyways, with that said, I wanted to toss it over because we want to recognize, how do you start the journey towards financial wealth and freedom and everything? It's being willing to celebrate any financial win. I know when we take a look at big goals and then you take a look at a quote unquote small paycheck, you might think, I'm so far away. But if we gratitude and we don't know how to celebrate and we don't know how to talk about the sale or the $100 paycheck or 500, whatever that it is, and we don't know how to celebrate with ourselves and other people, we're withholding the blessing of the next level as well too. I'm telling you, your dream finances come from the small things that happen every single week. So these Fridays are important because we want to recognize, we want to celebrate, we want to talk about the things that have been happening, whether it's rank advancements, whether it's things like Ultimate, whether it's getting your first customer, your first partner, whether it's a record paycheck for you or for your teammates. I encourage you to lean in and to share whatever that there is. And with that, then it'll build up momentum for the future. All right. So with that, I'm going to actually toss this over to Danielle to lead this portion, if you don't mind. And we'll go for maybe like 10, 15 minutes or something. And then after that, I'll come back on and I'll talk about a cool comp plan training. But Danielle, you have some winners that you want to award, but
Yeah,
also,
I love
yes.
this part. Who doesn't love to celebrate their wins, right? So, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, we have so many exciting things going on. I know everybody's been just ramping stuff up. Who's all been doing the Giddy Up promo? Put a giddy up in the comments there. I know it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, we have a couple winners. I know everybody wants to celebrate today. And I don't know if they're on here, but we have Eileen Schwartz is one of our winners. Is she on this call? I don't see her, but she's one of our big winners. And the other winner, we have Marie Elena Aruda. Is she on this call? Is any of our winners on the call? Nope, I don't see them. Well, congratulations. They are getting some really cool Partner Co swag. And so, yeah, that's a lot of fun. I also have someone I would like to recognize, and I think that Allison is on this call. Allison Britton, are you available to talk? Because I believe she just brought in a ultimate yesterday, her friend. So, Allison, if you're on, are you here?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, you brought on
Hi,
Alita. Is what's wait, I'm sorry. Her name is Alita.
Alita.
Alita. Yes.
Alita.
Yes. So we've been talking with Alita,
Yay, sorry.
and you just brought Alita
Sorry.
on.
I'm driving. Yeah, I'm driving to Texas. So sorry. I'm not paying attention to the road.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, be careful driving, but you just brought on last night Alita, which I'm so excited as Ultimate. So can you tell us like about
Yes.
how she came on and how you introduced her into the business?
Yeah, well, I was married to Alita's husband's brother 40 years ago. And anyway, we've always stayed friends. And I reached out to her because she is one that's all very natural, loves all natural products. And so when I got started looking at this, so she's the first person I thought of. So she immediately jumped on. I think she was my first client. And then we talked, and she absolutely started to love the product. She's a type 1 diabetic. And so she started seeing some good stuff from that. And yeah, so that's how she came on. And so the more I listened to and started understanding Ultimate, and I went Ultimate too, and it's been great because I was able to turn around and just sell to friends and family right off the bat to make some extra income. So we talked about it, and yeah, so that's kind of how, and I'm so excited for her. She's coming with me. We're both new, and we're both coming to PXP. So we'll see you there.
That is so exciting. I know we were talking the other day. I know you've been shopping and trying to find your rodeo chic and getting excited for that. So congratulations. I know you've been off and
Thank you.
running and sharing with everybody. So exciting and awesome. Is Alita on tonight on today as well?
I don't think so. She was working this morning, so I don't think she is.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's how you do it. And leading by example too is amazing. So congratulations. And
Thank you.
I am actually on this morning.
Oh,
oh
This
my
is
God,
Alita.
there she is. Hi, Lita.
Hi.
So congratulations on your on and welcome.
Thank you.
Happy
Yes.
to
I love
have
it.
you.
Yeah.
And share with us like how you're feeling. And I know you've made this decision, you're moving
Uh-huh.
forward. And
Yeah, so I'm starting on the second month of the drops. And so she said I was a type 1 diabetic. I'm also changed insulin pumps at the same time. So it's taken me a little bit to get adjusted, but I'm already seeing the energy and the mood change. And I'm with Ultimate. So I'm looking forward to getting some Renew and some Advantage and come to Dallas and learn more.
Awesome. That is so incredible. So
Yeah,
congratulations and
thank
welcome
you.
aboard. Excited to meet you in Dallas. I know we're going to have a great time
Same.
and start practicing your boots on the ground. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys are practicing.
Uh, oh yeah, yeah. I haven't been practicing, but I have experience. Allison and I were talking about that. We had a place called Wrangler in Little Rock, Arkansas, that I used to go to. So
Oh, okay, so maybe you can teach us some moves or something, right?
I don't. Hopefully,
All right. Well, that's
thank you.
awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and
Congrats. Thanks,
congrats.
guys.
Awesome. So, anyone else have some wins they would love to share today? I see Diane. Hey,
Yes, I
Diane. How
Hi,
are
good
you?
morning.
Good
Yes,
morning.
so my manager from San Francisco, she became an alternate. So I'm happy with Kathy Leong, and I did put her flyer up. So yeah, so she became a ultimate with 1,600 points, 1,600
Oh,
PVs. So I'm very proud of that. She was my very first person who's gone ultimate right from the start. So I've had brand partners that worked their way up, but she was my first. So I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of myself, proud of Pam helping me with that. So yeah, so I'm very happy with that. So yeah, so
awesome.
it can happen. I mean, it took me a while, but it happened. So all in God's timing. That's all I have to say. It's all in His timing.
Congratulations, Diane. That's so
Mhm.
awesome. So you want to share like how you did you introduce her to the ultimate right away, or did you is it
Well, she's a person that I've been talking to for years. Because like I said, she was my manager in a NICU in San Francisco. And I've known her longer than I knew Pam. But Pam and Kathy met at a conference. So we were both, talking to her about it. And then she saw Pam's live that she did. So then that did it when she saw Pam. And she just said, "Yep, this is what I want to do." She's working on her PhD. She's in I think her last semester, and she wants to have something steady for when she retires because she's going to retire also in a year. So Pam texted me. She says, "Oh my God, you have to call this person," because she wouldn't even tell me who it was. She said, "We both know her. You work with her, so call her. She wants your link." So I'm thinking, who is this person? So as she was talking, I called Pam and she says, "You know her." And I just said, "Kathy." And she said,
I
"Yes." So I
love
called Kathy up and we talked, and we just talked about my retirement, and she was saying what she wanted for her retirement. So she said, "Yes, Pam talked for me to about for 45 minutes." And she said, "This is what I want." She goes, "I want to go big. I want to go now." She said, "I want to be ready for when I retire." So I said, "Good." So she says, "Yes, I'm going for the ultimate pack." So, Kathy and Pam, they talked about it. Then I got on, we talked about the packs. And so she went for it. She says, "Yep." And I had sent her my link. So I said, "Okay, well, I can do it for you or help you, or you can do." She goes, "Oh, I already did it. I paid for it." And I went, "Wow." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Yes, she's a go-getter." So yeah, so she's so looking forward to it. And she knows she won a ticket to the PXP, but she's not sure if she could come because she has other obligations. So she's not sure if she could come, but she's excited. So I'm like so happy for her. So thank you, Pam.
so happy for you. Congratulations. And it just goes to show you, the power too of like third party
Exactly.
validation and connecting with other partners as well. So I always encourage everyone just definitely, put people in chats, get them getting that third party validation, get on a call with them, talk about what they want and she wants to retire early, all of these things, and the connection is there. So that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yes, and I do have a new brand partner who is coming to PXP.
Oh, that's
So
you.
I'm very happy with that. Yeah, so she's coming. This is her first, and she's a hairstylist. So she's coming. So I'm very happy for her also.
Ooh,
Yeah.
sorry. I have a storm. I have a storm going. Real life.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Storm.
yeah, the dogs don't love the storm too much. So I'm sorry, guys. Um, okay, thank you, Diane, so much. And Tammy, okay, you have your hand up. Let me unmute you.
Good morning. I'm talking a little bit low. I've got still people sleeping here. Um, Congratulations on your team and all that you're doing. It's very exciting to hear all the shares. I wanted to share a different kind of win. One of my teammates, she's fairly new, and I feel like this could be encouraging to somebody. She works a lot of hours and she's just plugging in wherever she can. What I'm doing with her is I'm finding little moments to connect with her, 20, 30 minutes here, 20, 30 minutes there, instead of not connecting at all because she has no time. We're finding time to connect. But her wins, she's not here. She works very demanding hours, but she has amazing wins. She started almost 2 months ago, but she has been plugging in. She's really focusing on her transformation, and she's been focusing on the IPAs. She posts the daily income producing activities of posting. And the biggest thing she's focusing on is growing her contacts and her network. She
Mhm.
started with about 300 friends on Facebook, and she's more than doubled it in probably just a month. So I'm really, really proud of her. She also was really excited. She made her very first sale all by herself with no assistance. And she was thrilled. That was like, it poured so much belief, like, oh my gosh, I did it. I got them from beginning to end. So she's really thrilled. I'm definitely focusing on the activities that she's doing because growing her network means she's widening her reach. She's doing the do, she's getting more exposure. So I wanted to share that win as well.
Oh, I love that so much, Tammy. And you said it so many great nuggets in there. And it's because we talk to people all the time, right? That they don't have time, and they don't know how to fit it in. And she's fitting it in when she can. You're fitting it in when you can, and you relate to that. So she knows you're there, and you try to get with her whenever you can. But she's getting that IPA tracker done,
Mhm.
which is so, so important. Doing the daily activities, and just encouraging her. But I'd really love to hear from her too. But just to know, how has she expanded her network, like 300 to 600? Did you say in a month's time? Or, I
Yes,
mean,
it's
that's
pretty
incredible.
incredible.
So how
I
does she?
asked her. She is joining different groups. She's just reaching out. She's commenting on a lot of people, maybe friend suggestions. She's not just friend requesting them. She's messaging them. She's really nurturing connections, and she feels really good about it. It's really I saw somebody over here said it's such a boost to her posture. That's exactly what it's doing. It's showing her that she has a voice, she has a lot to connect about, and I think she's actually enjoying the process.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what it's about, building relationships and have fun doing it, right? Like, it's exciting when you make new friends and make new connections, and, like attracts like. I think we were talking about that yesterday, and Peter was talking about how he reaches out to 50 people a day. He's broadening his connections, and look, she got her first sale all by herself.
All by herself. Yeah.
So that is so exciting. So thank you, Tammy, for sharing, and
Thank you.
congratulations. And yeah, let's keep doing those income producing activities every day and expanding our network, and really getting out there, because it's so important. I talk to people all the time, and one of the biggest thing is reaching out to new people, and don't be afraid, because the worst they can say is no or not respond back, right? So having that conversation and opening the door and getting into groups that, people ask how to expand your network. I say pick one large group, or maybe two, but one large group that's super, that you really have, you want to be around these people. So whether, for me, it would be healthy recipes and fitness tips and things like that, but a community that you can feel part of, right? So you can connect with people that are like-minded, and you want to look for a group that's super busy also, that's active and people are commenting. And then go into that group too and introduce yourself, and then just start adding some value. So when you start adding value and people have good takeaways, and they're learning something from you, you'll start making natural organic connections. And then from there, it just grows into conversations and in the messenger, and then you can share what it is that you do and what you have to offer. So awesome. Anyone else want to share today? Have a good IPA or something great that happened to you this week? I know Vanessa. Vanessa, are you on here? I did see you. I know you had a pretty
Yes.
incredible post that you did. You want to
Can
share
you,
about your conversation post?
yeah, I actually wrote a post about women peeing at night, and no one dared I don't think anyone commented on the post. Let me have a look. I just can't remember now, but that my inbox blew up. So, because I wrote about the fact that, and I had a weight loss kind of photograph on there. But I learned this new word today, it was true, called what was it, nocturia or something. And it's about women who wake up and that was me, like 4 or 5 times a night. I didn't sleep, all of that.
Pretty.
Yeah, there you go. So I sort of incorporated that, but my inbox just blew up with about 10 people, I think, by the end of the day. Well, not blew up yet, but and because I live in Bali, some of my contacts here can't actually buy them online. So I was shooting out a few boxes of drops to people today. So people, and they just literally um just like, bam, send me your drops. I said, oh, are you in Bali? She goes, yeah, yeah. I said, okay, fine. And she didn't even ask me how much they were. I'm like, oh, that was really interesting. And because I've had a bit of a week where I've been tired. And a few emotions and a few things going on and preparing to move again and all the things, da, da, da. So I had to reset. And I think it was a really good post to reset. And women won't admit to the fact, well, some women won't admit to the fact that they're out peeing all night. They don't admit that. So yeah, they jumped in my inbox, and it seems like that's a real thing that women want to get on top of.
Yeah,
So it was a good confidence booster too, to be honest with you. So talk about women peeing and you're in.
I love it. I love it so much. I know you had messaged me this morning and you couldn't believe the response that you got. And I thought, that's real life. That's real talk. You're putting out pain points and you're finding things that women don't want to talk about publicly. And therefore they're reaching out to you because they want to find a solution. And really, that's what we're here for. So I encourage everyone to put a vulnerable post out there of something that people think about or are concerned about, or as we get older, we're experiencing, or anything. I mean, men, you have your things, women, we have our things, but just be vulnerable and be real and raw, because that is what's going to draw people into you. And they're going to be like, wow, okay, I want to know what this person has because this has been a concern of mine, right? So, good job, Vanessa. And I know you've been going through a lot of things, and congratulations to you because I believe that you are a brand new grandma.
No,
No? Was it you? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh no, how did I mess that up?
not me.
Who was it that was just sharing that? Oh my gosh, sorry, too many chats.
Valerie, I think.
Valerie. Okay.
Too many V's.
I got the V messed up. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, all right. Well, wrong person, but anyway, Vanessa, good job. Proud of you. And that's an awesome IPA, everybody. Just pick a pain point out there and post about it, share about it, and you'll be surprised who will show up in your inbox. I know I've done posts like that, especially when we're dealing with hormones. And a lot of people, that's why I say even our testimonials that we're posting, and I have a lot of people saying nobody's liking them or commenting on them. You wouldn't believe how many people see them and then will end up in your inbox because something resonated with them, right? So just keep sharing and sharing your story and how just even all the non-scale victories are so important, right? So we have so many of them. And I tell people, for me personally, the non-scale is even outweighs the scale victories, so it all goes hand in hand. But, I'd rather have better sleep and no night sweats and all of those, better mood and all of that, less inflammation than even some of the weight loss. But yeah. So does anyone else have any wins they'd like to share today?
I'll chime in now if you don't mind, Danielle. I'm ready. So
Thank you.
awesome. Sounds good. All right. So many cool wins. Throw in the chat, by the way, what is a non-scale victory that you've had on any of our products? Thanks for sharing that, Vanessa. Like, how bold, right? Like, fortune favors the bold. It's absolutely the case. So I'm thinking for myself, what is that for me? Probably I should talk about food noise because I used to think about food all the time, and I'm just obsessed about thinking about food, and I don't have that, right? That's the ghrelin. That's your hair's regrowing, more consistent energy, blood sugar down 100 points, hair's regrowing, right? Fewer cravings, anxiety, better sleep. Those are massive. So I love that, Danielle. Thanks for highlighting that. Maybe use that today as one of your posts to share about the other benefits and put that in our customer and prospect groups for sure as well too. Sleeping throughout the night without needing to pee. Pam says the same thing. This is a real thing. This is huge. So Vanessa, you just started something. Like I think this is a very important point to talk about because who wants to do that, right? So and congratulations to everybody on all of your cool successes. All right. I want to hog a little bit of time on today's call because as we're thinking about how to achieve your ultimate dreams in Partner Co, whether it's 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, 1,000 a month, whatever that it is, we need to know how do we drive the compensation plan and tie it together so that it can get us towards those goals. So we talk in the beginning about going ultimate. We know that that is an absolute obsession, right? You want to sell your way, whether you start there or not. I would aim to sell 1,500 PV in your first 4 Fridays. And however you want to do it, you'll earn anywhere between $1,500, even up to $3,000 or $1,000 to $2,500. You're going to make some good money, right? Depending on how you sell. And you want to get that goal down. You want to get that activity down. John Wadsworth, our owner and founder, says that we're in a sales business. That's true, right? All of us are always in the selling business. So, and many times the best partners come because they were first the best customer, as you heard even on today's call. So you want to do that and achieve ultimate and lock yourself there for life. And if you're not there yet, absolutely, we want to get you there and we can. But after you get there, what's going to start to happen? As you look in your back office, you'll probably notice staring at you in the face right on the dashboard are these things called title advancements. Have you seen that before? And whether it says team lead or supervisor or whatever that the title is, you start noticing that it's like, wow, what does this mean? And it has a cool little tracker and all of that. I think recognition and titles are very important for most of us. We want the money, but we also want the recognition. We like to feel like we have a sense of progress. And what's great about this business is they give us a lot of these little drivers that we can go to, little recognition pieces. And how titles work here is it is just an accumulation of a certain type of production you've done. So for example, here's a cool chart. You can find this in your back offices and everything. You can also see it on your title advancement tracker. The first four titles, team lead to senior supervisor, are just a total commissions in USD. How much did you make? On everything, retail sales, new volume bonus, base commission, all of the above. And as you earn total amount of commissions, if you made $100 total, you're a team lead. If you made $400 total, you're a supervisor. But if you notice, there's an interesting difference that happens when you achieve senior supervisor, where from senior supervisor to manager, there becomes one additional requirement. And what that is besides only at least $800 lifetime commissions, you also need a 1 week pay line volume to achieve the next promotions. This is where a lot of people can get stuck because it takes intention and it takes some strategy to be able to go here. And whether it's for you and your team, if you want to go all the other titles, for example, and you can go chairperson 5,000, whatever that you want, there's unlimited titles you can achieve. Right now, the highest in the world is someone called Crown Chairperson Level 2. She's amazing. She actually was a lactation expert in China, Lin Xuan. We were sitting down with her in Bali and just hearing her story. The most normal person in the world, by the way. But I think that check that week was probably 50 grand. Like it's crazy what you can do. But in order to achieve those small ones, the way that all of them build up are the more people that you can help get ultimate, and the more people you can get to specifically manager and above, these titles are strong building blocks of volume that you can then structure a vice president promotion, an officer promotion, a senior officer promotion, or a Crown Chairperson Level 2 promotion as well. So today I want to tackle, how do you successfully either you make the jump from senior supervisor to manager, or you help your teammates make the jump as well. So we're going to break down a couple of portions here. And if you can master this, I'm telling you, you're going to be able to see how you can write your paycheck in this compensation plan. All right. So let's go through a couple of slides here. To put it simply at first, what does manager look like? It could look something like this. Usually you're going to start having some depth in your organization. Usually manager isn't only just by yourself. It can be, and I'll go over some scenarios. But to put it simply, it can look like you might have a little team going on, and then you have 1,000 points on your line 1, and then let's say you have 1,500 points on your line 2 in this scenario. If you had the lifetime commissions, and you had on your smaller line, the pay line is the smaller line at that moment. If you had a total of 1,000 points, remember we have a comp plan where it's unlimited levels roll up. You could have someone 1,000 levels deep. And if they produce 100 volume, it rolls all the way up to you. And that all accumulates, these lines of business, okay? A manager, the top 5% of managers on average earn $1,100 a month. So think about that. For a lot of people, 1,000 a month is a lot of income. So that's a manager also is a good place to be. Now, rank does not necessitate income in our company. It is just a symbol that you reach there at one time. So the first goal is to hit the promotion. The second goal is to continue to get paid at that level through consistent productions and residual income and recurring customers and all of that. But it's good to know that that's an average right there, okay? Let's go through this. So this is what your title advancement tracker could look like. This is a scenario of a teammate that is currently at senior supervisor. Senior supervisor they made at least $600 lifetime commission. You'll see this right at the front of your dashboard. This is the phone version. And you'll see it'll open up to go manager. It'll tell you, you need a pay line volume of 1,000 points. And you also need a total lifetime commissions of $800. So we're going to break down a scenario on how do we help this teammate achieve manager. Now, one other cool thing before we break that down, is maybe you're a leader that wants to help your teammates go manager as well. A cool thing you can do is you can click on this little gear button and it'll open up this menu that says track my team. And when you track your team, you can put in their ID number. So let's say I'm working with Vanessa and I see that I want to help her go to the next promotion. I could take her ID number, put it into this, and it'll populate this same title advancement progress tracker. So I know that I know where she stands and I know where we can go. Okay, so whether for you or your team, let's go. Danielle said Lisa's almost manager today, 239 points away. Let's go. Come on. So let me give an example of what we can do in this scenario. Okay, when you read this chart, this is what I see. This teammate made $681 total so far. Because a hit manager, you need both to be done. We get paid weekly, so Friday is the end of the pay period. So we see by end of Friday, where are we going to stand? We need total commissions of $800. And number two, we need 1,000 points on the pay line. For this teammate, she's already at $681. Meaning, I'm not afraid of her ending the week at 800 total commissions. Because even in the worst case scenario, if you got 1,000 points, and let's say that's on your smaller line, and let's say that's base commissionable volume, you make 15%, that's $150 already at least. So I already know this teammate. I don't have to worry about the lifetime total commissions in this scenario. I just have to worry about how do we get the 1,000 points. She's going to already make more than enough where we don't have to worry about those $800 minimum. Most people, by the time they're ready to go manager, because they're selling, because they're enrolling, they're probably going to clear the lifetime commissions portion. So typically you don't have to worry about that. But in some scenarios, you're going super, super fast. So you might want to consider that for strategy. Okay. But in this one, we don't have to worry about that money side. All we have to worry about is 1,000 points of volume. I hope that makes sense there. Okay. This is a training that you might want to watch a couple of times so that you get some strategy done. So 1,000 points. That is our mission. How do you get 1,000 points? Okay. One other thing I want to look at is you want to see, well, power line and pay line, what does that actually look like? I know from here, we need 1,000 points pay line, but I also need to see where does the volume stand right now and how much does she actually need? So here's where you'll go to check. Go to your menu, go to my money, and go to volume. This is the most important report that I check all the time. It's the most accurate. It has everything that you need. So when I take a look at the volume, this is a phone version. I'll do a couple things. On the right, do you see there's this minus sign? It'll be a plus sign if you didn't click on it. You want to click on that because that'll expand the view on a phone. You want to look at everything. If you're on a desktop, it'll show everything. And when I say everything, it'll show these other rows. And what I'm looking for on both line 1 and line 2, this bottom says total volume for title advance and global profit sharing. What am I looking for? I want to look for on the power line, the one with more volume at this moment, does it have at least 1,000 points? Because for me to have a pay line of 1,000 points, I need to have at least 1,000 on the power to support it. This teammate has 13,334. They have more than enough volume. So I'm like, check. All right, I don't have to worry about getting more volume on the power line to support the pay line. Okay, does that make sense at all? That's more than enough. So that's my first check. So in this situation, all I need to think about is I don't need to think about lifetime commissions because I already know they're going to make enough. I don't need to worry about having more volume on the power line right now. I just need to focus on the pay line, line 2. Now this line 2, where can the volume come from? Anyone in this teammate's line 2 Whatever volume that they buy, sell, enroll, doesn't matter. All of that volume rolls up. Let's say Danielle Singh is on the line 2. Danielle Singh needs to buy some more products. She buys 200 points. That all accumulates towards that line 2. Let's say Diane Odom is underneath line 2 too. Diane Odom sponsors a new ultimate pack, 1,500 points. That all adds up. 100%, your line 2 now has the volume that you need. What else is involved in line 2? Any of your personal customers or any of your personal volume. If you buy or sell, assuming you're commission qualified, takes 100 PV a month to stay qualified, anything above and beyond 100 auto balances, it goes automatically towards the lines that pay you the most. So actually your customer volume and your personal volume, if you're already commission qualified that month, will also go towards, in this scenario, your line 2. So let's say I sold a 10 pack of drops in the US, and that's 500 PV. If I sold 2 of those, that's 1,000. And let's say I put that in my personal volume because I have inventory and people are buying it, that could go towards the line 2 as well too. Does this make sense so far? So this is where all volume can come from. Now I do want to give you some also rank strategy as well too. Here's my philosophy. Whenever you or your team get a promotion, you want to make profits. Okay, put make profit in the chat below. The reality is this, we all love recognition, but you cannot take a rank to the bank, right? I don't care just for a rank. I want the end lifestyle. So as John Wadsworth would say, there's a temptation that can happen, to be very honest. I can just buy the volume and I can just like go hit a rank. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying consider. What am I looking for the most? Do I just want a pat on the back and tons of products? Or do I actually want to make profit? I believe what's important is profit. Here's my other standard. If you're going for a promotion, you have a weekly average earnings you typically do. Make sure that whatever promotion you do, you end up making more than the average that you've been making. I'm not opposed to investing. For example, let's say you wanted to buy some products anyway. You've been wanting that CM2 pulse band. You're like, I want to buy it anyway. You might consider, this might be one of those times, for example, right? Or let's say you're selling retail and you have an inventory and you're actually sold out of your drops and you need to get another pack and you're about to sell it. That's something you can consider. But let me be straight up. If you have 50 boxes of drops in your closet right now, you should not go buy another 50 boxes of drops if you can't sell them. I'm using an extreme example. Because what do we want? We want the lifestyle, not just the rank. If that makes sense, put makes sense in the comments below. All right. So just my 2 cents on that, but I'm not opposed to using some products. I'm not opposed to, you can make some promotion. You can get really creative. It's your business, right? Business owners can think of sales. You can comp shipping and, hey, buy today and you get free shipping. That's $15, for example. So you can think about these things, but consider your earnings and consider what you want to do. Why? Because we don't want the shortcuts, as John Wadsworth said. While we can, it's not necessarily that we should. So I want to challenge you to actually make the sales to do what it is that you want to do. Okay? How do you get 1,000 points in this scenario? There's many different ways to do it. Okay? Let's say you're selling through and you are thinking about different types of packs to customers. Something that you can do is I would go onto the PartnerCo site and you might have some favorite packs that you want to utilize. Okay? So I'm logged in and what I'll do is I'll go on to the site and I'll just take a look. What are some popular packages that are here? I think for customers, popular packages could be 100 PV packs, 200 points, couple $100, right? So you might consider some of these, and I'm like, all right, I need to know how many points. One of my favorite packs personally is I love the drops and renew. Drops and renew, two really popular products. You also get a really big savings. You save over $60 buying them standalone when you buy them together. So I'm like, you can upsell that pretty simply. I know it's 100 points. Let's say I was only selling the Sunworks and Renew and I wanted 1,000 points. I need 10 of those. I need 10 of those. All right, cool. So I know that's something that I can consider. Other ways that I can get points is, let's say there's customers, but you can also enroll brand partners. Brand partners typically buy more volume. You heard Diane Odom earlier talk about her new ultimate partner. This person is in a money-making mindset. So they're thinking to themselves, I want to make the most amount of money, so I'm going to go ultimate. I'm going to buy not just 1,500, but 1,600 points. So when you have a business conversation, many times, they will now look at the purchase decision differently. So you might consider, who can I partner with and get on board and help them get to ultimate as quickly as possible, right? So for example, people typically, if they're looking at it from a business perspective, they might look at a 200 PV pack to get started with. That's like a normal, I'd say the average partner gets started with at least 200 points. So if you're in an enrollment phase, you might consider 5 people to enroll through you and your team on your pay line. You might have an enrollment spree. If you get 2 business packs sold, that's 500 times 2, that's 1,000. Or if you get 1 ultimate, that is 1,000 points right there. Does this make sense, guys? You know, like this is just all the different routes and ways. There's no wrong or right way. It's just, how do we get all those done? You have to know what's the points you need. Where can it come from? I want to utilize all strategies because they're all very, very powerful. One last way that's very powerful to get volume is if you're looking at your team and you want to help them maximize their pay and they're on your pay line, do you have teammates that are not yet ultimate that we can help make a plan to go ultimate? If you have a brand new teammate and let's say they start at 200 points and they need 1,300 more points to go to 1,500 or ultimate, if you spent the next week breaking down the strategy to help them sell their way or however you want to get them to ultimate, that's 1,300 points on your pay line. And that would be 1,000 points for you. So think personal customers, think personal enrollments, think team upgrades, team sales, team promotions, team enrollments. Take all of those strategies and think 1,000 points. If you're still with me, put a 1,000 in the comments below. Once again, my goal is to have the ultimate manager breakdown so you have no questions from now on, and you can review this because this is a very key promotion to have. Okay, let me go through another interesting scenario. You ready for a hack that's very interesting? In fact, this is one of the patent pens that are in this compensation plan, why it's rated number 1. Okay. There's going to be many scenarios where you'll see, let's say I'm checking back on this teammate's volume, and I'm looking at their chart, and I see a couple things here. Number 1, I see currently they only have $379, so they need $421 more of lifetime commission to go manager. So that's like a good amount. Number 2, I'm looking at their volume. In the volume report, you can put in their ID number 2 in the top part that I blacked out there. And I see they have 382 points on their line 1. That's not 1,000, right? And they have 0 on their line 2. So if your teammate does not have 1,000 points in the power line, what can you do? There's a couple ways to get this person manager if you want 1,000 points pay line volume. The first way is this. if you had two lines and you had 0 points in these lines right now, one way, if you wanted to do it all through customers or your personal volume, is you could accumulate 2,000 points total in that week. Auto balancing is one of the patent pens in our comp plan. Auto balancing says every week, your personal volume and your preferred customer volume will always go to the lines in your business that will pay you the most. There's other comp plans where you have to place a customer. If you place them on a power line, you will never get paid from them, for example, in those comp plans. This one, the comp plan just wants to pay you always. Is that pretty cool? So you will get paid well here. How does it work? You have two lines at 0 for simplicity. In this scenario, it'll split the 2,000 evenly, 1,000 points in your line 1 and 1,000 points in line 2. Question, in this scenario, do you have a power line, the line with the most amount of points, at least 1,000 points? They're equal, so yes, you do. Do you also have a pay line, the smaller line? In this scenario, they're the same number. Do you have a pay line of at least 1,000 points too? Yes, you do. So you have 1,000 points of pay line volume in this scenario. Does this make sense? But I want you to know, if you only had two lines and you went from scratch, you would need 2,000 total volume to auto balance to 1,000 points pay line volume. Here's the cool part. You're going to get mind blown. I'm all a fan of efficiency. Some might call it laziness. All right. I am naturally lazy, meaning I want to do the least amount of work for the maximum pay. Let's flip that around though. Let's do the most amount of work, but also be efficient with our pay. All right. So how does this work? What if you had 5 lines? You went ultimate. When you're ultimate, you have 5 lines. That's why we also recommend ultimate is important, not just for doubling your new volume bonus at 30%, not just for unlocking gold status or matching bonus, the first 3 levels of leadership check match, but also you earn 5 lines. So we don't tell you to build them with teammates. We say focus on 2 lines. But in the scenario that you're getting customers, what if I were to tell you get paid more money when you have 5 lines? How? We're gonna aim to go manager in this scenario too. 1,000 points total pay line volume. Same scenario, right? How do we do it the most efficient way if you have 5 lines? If you're at 0, here's the most efficient way. Personal volume and PC volume at 1,250. Remember, before we said 2,000. You're doing 750 points less. That's like $1,000 plus less. How does this divide? Remember, auto balancing will divide the points into the lines that's the most efficient. It'll actually take the 1,250 if you divide it by 5, and it'll equally put 250 into each of the 5 lines. That's interesting. So the maximum you have is 250 points. How does this work with power line and pay line? The cool part about multiple lines is when you have this setup, they designate one line, the one with the most volume, as the power line. And all of the other lines are also independently looked at as pay lines. So in this scenario, you have 1 power line and 4 pay lines. Let's say line 1 is your power. They're all the same volume. They'll designate 1 arbitrarily as a power line. That means your other 4 are pay lines. Okay. Auto balancing is for everyone. Absolutely. So my question to you is this: how much pay line volume do you have in this scenario? If line 2, 3, 4, and 5 are pay lines too, anyone have a guess? Throw it in the chat. You have 250 in your power, but how much? Yeah, you have 1,000 points total on your pay line. Every line is independently referenced to the power line. And even though you only have 250 on the power line, you will then have 250 plus 250 plus 250 plus 250, 1,000 points total pay line volume. So you did less total sales, 1250, but you got the same pay. The other scenario, you needed 2,000 points to get 1,000 points pay line volume. This one, you need 1,250 points to have 1,000 points pay line volume. At the end of the week, no line ever goes under 0. So you don't go negative. It just goes down to 0, catches out. And what Katie Garner said is right. If you had enough lifetime commissions, you would have hit manager in this scenario. So to recap, have 5 lines available. Build 2 lines with your team. But when you're getting customers or extra personal volume, it can auto balance into the other lines to help you to get pay line volume. Especially if you're in a scenario like we're looking at this one. This teammate only has 382 on their power line right now. So you know what my game plan would be for this teammate? This teammate's at ultimate already. She has 5 lines. I would tell this teammate, let's get 1,000 points total. Let's aim to get 1,000 points of customers. Let's sell 10 SlenderX Renew packs. Let's make retail commissions because she needs that because she only has 379 right now and more. So Renew and SlenderX actually is $240 subtotal. And you would make 30% of retail sales. So $80 times 10, $800. So you're in a really cool place. You're going to make a lot of money. You're going to get the lifetime commissions, and then you're going to have enough volume for the pay line volume. So I'm going to tell them, let's go sell 10 SlenderX Renew packs. Let's make that goal. You have enough on your power. You have 5 lines. You get 1,000 points total. You will be a manager like that. Okay. After that, usually the titles get much more simple. But this one point here, I just gave you a top 1% secret. Most people don't know, don't understand, don't implement. But if you can grab this for you and your team, you might want to repeat this a couple times and help someone do it or go yourself. Watch how your business just starts to skyrocket. Okay. So with that, I know we went deep, but my goal was have one training where from now on, there is no questions asked. Let's have tons of managers happen. Let's have tons of teammates get promoted. And if you can master this part, the rest starts to add up. All right. So with that, thanks for the extra time today, guys. 1 week left on the clock. If you're running for PXP to go on stage, August 29th is the deadline to go on stage. Let's have a bunch of managers on stage. Okay. I will cut this out and I will make it separate. That was my intention. I will post this in all the groups. This will be a standalone training in itself. All right. So with that, we're going to pray out. So if you want to linger and stay on, definitely stay on. If not, yeah. Awesome. All right. And we honor if you want to pop off. But dear Father, we just thank you. We thank you that you can help us do hard things. We thank you that you're the God of wisdom. And I know that as we go through numbers, I just come against any single type of lies that come into our mind. People saying to themselves, this is too complicated, this is too hard. And it's like there's a murkiness that goes around their brain because it's like the enemy tells them you're not intelligent enough. And I know there's things that have happened in their past from school, from parents, from people of influence that have told them things that are lies. So specifically, I'm going to rebuke against any lie that people are not intelligent. And we break that in the name of Jesus because we're born in your image and you gave us the mind of Christ, meaning that we can know everything about everything. That Holy Spirit, you lead us into all truth, that you lead us into all understanding. And if we have co-partnership with you, you give us the divine opportunity to understand things that are greater than human comprehension. So I thank you, Lord, that there's supernatural understanding today, that there's supernatural strategy today, that opportunities flow into our entire organization. And then as people look at the numbers, it's like the matrix happened and they see things in a way that they never saw before, that the numbers turn into people that they can transform lives of, and that they start to have crystal clear strategy and plans as they move forward. So I thank you for divine downloads today, and I thank you for the ability to carry those out in such a way that when prosperity hits, they knows because the plan came straight from you. So we accept this and we thank you for all this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys, have a great one. Love you all. Let's crush it.
Amen.
Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Amen.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Awesome. Thank
Bye.
you. Have a great weekend.
Everyone, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Welcome to the
everybody.
Bay Area.